Ever imagine a time when, like, plugging in a lamp could be a life or death gamble?
I know, right.
That's the world William Henry Merrill stepped into, and you wanted to dive into his story.
Yeah.
So we're digging into his Wikipedia bio today. And let me tell you, this isn't just some dry account of dates and names.
Right.
It's really a fascinating look at how one person's work could shape something as,
Like, yeah.
fundamental as safety standards, even over a century later.
Yeah, it's a perfect example of how a specific event at just the right moment can spark someone to create lasting change.
Totally.
And in Merrill's case, that spark came from a surprising place, the 1893 Chicago World's Fair.
Of course, yeah.
But before we get ahead of ourselves,
Right.
let's introduce our man to the listener. William Henry Merrill, born in 1868, died in 1923, an American electrical engineer. Seems simple enough, right?
Sure. But there's always more to the story, right? I mean, what was the world even like back then when it came to, like, electricity?
Well, think about it. This was the era where widespread electrification was just taking off.
Right.
Imagine cities that were used to gas lights suddenly illuminated by electric lights.
Oh, wow. Whoa.
Entire buildings lit up on a scale never seen before.
Wow.
It was dazzling, cutting edge, but also potentially very dangerous. People back then didn't have the same understanding of electrical safety that we
Right, of course, yeah.
that we do today.
Totally. That's where Merrill's story gets really interesting, right? He was hired to assess electrical safety at the World's Fair. This wasn't just any event. This was a massive showcase of new technology, including electricity.
Exactly. And for Merrill, a recent MIT grad, always a good sign.
Sure.
This wasn't just a job. It was a crash course in the forefront of a technological revolution. Can you imagine the pressure? Ensuring the safety of thousands of visitors amidst this dazzling but potentially dangerous display of electrical innovation.
I can only imagine. It's like he was tasked with writing the rule book on the fly while the whole world was watching.
That's a great way to put it. And you know what? It was this experience amidst the wonders and the risks of the 1893 World's Fair that lit the fire in Merrill. He saw firsthand the urgent need for standardized safety measures in this new world of electricity.
So what did he do? Did he, like, walk away from the World's Fair and just immediately start writing safety regulations?
Well, not immediately, but he definitely didn't waste any time.
Right.
Just a year later, in 1894, he took a bold step and founded the Underwriters Electrical Bureau.
And that's what it eventually became, right? Underwriters Laboratories, UL, the organization behind that little safety mark, like we see on everything these days.
It's
It's funny. I never really thought about that little UL mark before.
right.
But now that you mention it, like, it really is everywhere, isn't it?
Yeah. It is, and it's a testament to the enduring legacy of what Merrill started.
Yeah.
That seemingly simple mark represents over a century of work in setting safety standards.
Wow.
All stemming from Merrill's vision.
Yeah.
But what's fascinating is that he didn't stop at just, electrical safety.
Right.
Remember, this is a time when people were just beginning to understand, the science of fire prevention.
Right. And his Wikipedia bio mentioned that he was also involved with the National Fire Protection Association.
Yeah.
The NFPA.
Exactly. From 1903 to 1909, he was both the secretary and treasurer of the NFPA.
Wow.
And then from 1910 to 1912, he served as its president.
Wow.
This wasn't just about electricity for Merrill, you see.
Right.
He understood that safety systems were interconnected.
Yeah.
Whether it was preventing fires in homes or ensuring that vital resources were protected during wartime, it all worked together.
Speaking of wartime, his Wikipedia entry also mentioned his role during World War I
Yes.
as chairman of the Fire Prevention Section of the War Industries Board.
Right.
That must have been quite a responsibility.
It certainly was. Think about the context.
Yeah.
During times of war, industries expand rapidly to meet the demands of the front lines.
Of course.
And back then, that often meant that safety measures were, overlooked in the rush to produce.
So Merrill was there to make sure they didn't cut corners.
Precisely. He was a champion for safety in a time when production often took precedence.
Right.
His leadership ensured that essential fire prevention measures were implemented,
Yeah.
safeguarding not only lives but also crucial war supplies. Right. It was a critical role, ensuring that the home front remained strong even as the world was at war.
It's really amazing to think how one man's work, just sparked by a single event,
Right.
could ripple through history to impact our lives even today.
It really is. Think about it. How often do you actually see the UL mark in your daily life,
Yeah, that's true.
on your, like, your phone charger,
Oh, yeah.
your coffee maker, even,
Yeah, yeah.
your kids' toys.
That's true.
Merrill didn't just identify a problem.
Right.
He dedicated his life to building solutions, to creating a system that's still protecting us, over a century later.
It makes you realize, like, how much we just take for granted.
Right.
We just, like, assume things will be safe.
Yeah.
But behind that assumption is the work of people like William Henry Merrill.
And that's a powerful thought to leave with you.
Yeah.
What seems like a small event now, a blip on the radar,
Yeah.
could be the spark for someone to create a safer, more secure future.
Right.
Just like the Chicago World's Fair was for Merrill. It makes you wonder,
Uh,
what will be the next spark that shapes the future of safety and technology?
oh, yeah.
What will be the next UL? And who will be the person driven to create it?
Now, that's a question worth pondering. Well, there you have it. The captivating story of William Henry Merrill, the accidental safety pioneer. From a World's Fair to a global impact, His journey reminds us that sometimes the most important changes come from the most unexpected places. And that even in a world lit by electricity, it's the spark of human ingenuity that truly illuminates our path forward. Until next time, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep diving deep